Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. Very long time no see, like in real time. I have not filmed in over 3 weeks due to a tonsillectomy. Thank you to all of you who sent some very kind messages, well wishes, take your times, and all of the things. I really do appreciate it. I feel 100% better, and I'm really glad I got the procedure too, because when my doctor took out my tonsils, my husband said that the doctor told him that my tonsils were yucky and they needed to come out. So really glad all of that went well. So happy to be back and filming for you guys. So today we're gonna be sharing my top skin tint recommendations for the summer for all skin types. So we've got some skin tints for dry people, oily people, all of us in the middle, all the things. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And let's get right into this video. Okay, so if I had to rank these, I could rank them. So we'll kind of go with that. But I highly recommend all of these. Try to do a top 5. Had to stick another one in there, so we got top 6. But starting with number 6. Now, like I said, all of these I highly recommend. I love them all. So putting them in a ranking order is just to let you know which ones are my favorites, the ones that I use the most, and the one that I think will be also great for the most of us out here. So that's kind of how I'm ranking them. Of course, I'll give you explanations as to why I put them in certain positions, but honestly, I would repurchase all of them if for some reason I didn't have them anymore. So really recommend all of them. And I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. Coming in at number 6, we have the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Skin Tint. So I do wear shade 13. This shade is a little too light for me. And I recently went to Sephora, I would say a couple months ago, to try to find a much better shade match, because this is gonna work pretty okay for my T-zone area, but once we get around the perimeter of my face, it starts to look a little too ashy. However, I do love the undertone of this particular skin tint, and that's where if I could say, justify continuing to use it. I unfortunately did not find a skin tint in the shade that I feel, this is what it looks like, works best for me. So I'm just going to continue to wear this one and just load up on bronzer and go from there. I tried shade 14, 15, and I think I even went with 16 in the store, and the shades were either too deep or the undertone was just too off. So for me, I'm gonna stick with shade 13 and just make it work. I would say if you're around my shade, go with shade 13, maybe 14. 14 definitely had a more cooler undertone, but I felt like it was almost too cool for my complexion. So this particular product is located in most Sephora stores. I would say go in, try to find your perfect shade match. But what I love about this skin tint and why I recommend it is that it is so long wearing. This was my skin tint of choice, especially last summer. And I wanna say the summer before last, or did this come out last summer? If it came out last summer, then it was my skin tint of choice last summer. Last through the heat, I would be sweating, and the skin and this skin tint still stayed in place. It has more of a natural matte finish, so I would say that if you have more dry skin, either choose another skin tint if you're I don't even want to deal with it, or just use a nice hydrating primer, and I do think you can make it work. I don't believe that this skin tint is overly matte at all, but it's definitely not your traditional extra dewy, luminous type of skin tint. Blends effortlessly into the skin, gives you that light coverage that you're looking for. I would say that the coverage is light, slightly medium. It's got some pretty good coverage for it to be a skin tint. And I do think this is one that will work for a nice plethora of complexions. There are a lot of shades. I wanna say there's 30 shades of this skin tint. If I'm wrong, it's close to 30. There's a nice shade range in this particular skin tint. And I just truly love it and enjoy it. So for me, this is, like I said, one that I will continue to use. I just love that natural matte finish. And this is the one that I reach for when I know I'm gonna be outside, let's say at a cookout, going to, an outdoor event. And I'm like, okay, I need something that's gonna last under the heat and last all day, but I want the lighter coverage. So highly recommend that for those types of occasions, and also for those skin types. Definitely normal, combination oily will love it. And I would say if you have dry skin, go in with a hydrating primer. Okay, coming in at number 5, we're gonna go with the Lip Bar. This skin tint looks so gorgeous on the skin. So I wear the shade Caramel Delight. This is a beautiful shade match for me. You can pick this up at Target and Walmart, so it's going to fall along the lines of your drugstore price. It is maybe drugstore price, but the performance, so high end. This looks, it makes the skin just look so perfected. My sister does not like to wear a lot of makeup at all. So here is what the shade looks like, Caramel Delight from the lip bar. And she wanted something lighter in coverage. And every time she wears this, I'm like, girl, what is on your face? It looks like your face just looks so like beautiful, hydrated, like dark spots are covered, but like you can still see her skin. And she's like, girl, it's that same little skin tint that you recommended to me. It is phenomenal. So this is really the Just a Tint 3-in-1 Tinted Skin Conditioner. It has a very light coverage of SPF, an SPF of 11. It's also infused with hyaluronic acid. And they call it a 3-in-1 Tinted Skin Moisturizer because it's gonna hydrate the skin, kind of correct the skin a little bit. And then like you said, like I said, give you that hydration with that coverage as well. This is beautiful. Definitely one of the fewer drugstore products that I have kept in my collection. If you've been following me for a while, I do like more high-end and luxury makeup products. But I do have some drugstore products that I just can't get rid of because they do perform so well, and this is one of those products. Absolutely love it, highly recommend it. I tend to wear this particular skin tint when I want a little bit more coverage than just like hardly no coverage at all. This particular product is going to give you a nice radiant finish. Nothing overly dewy, but if you do have combination and oily skin, you are going to want to go in with a mattifying primer and set your face with powder. My sister has more oily skin and she still really enjoys this, but she also does like a little glow with her complexion. So she's like, you know, I don't mind having a glow, but her face is never looking like extra oily, extra dewy, and like, you know, makeup sliding off her face. So I would also say that this product is going to be great for all skin types. But if you're someone who's like, look, I really don't want any type of dew and shine or anything, then I would probably recommend the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop over this one, because this one is going to give you some nice radiance and like that healthier looking skin. But this is beautiful. It also lasts all day long. I can't say enough great things about it. This one comes in 5th place, but only because the ones above it are just that much better. If it can even be that much better. Okay, coming in at number 4, the Amica Lay. This is the Skin Enhancing Tint in shade Medium 1. Okay, so this one is for my persons that love a dew and a glow to the skin. Like, you know, you're right here with the Glow Queen. This is going to give you that dewy, if I can say almost like more traditional skin tint type of look, where the skin is looking dewy and radiant and glowy and glossy and just like all the things. It's beautiful. The coverage is going to be nice and light. So here is the Amica Lay in shade Medium 1. Blended into the skin, this looks really nice against my skin. I know it does look a little dark compared to like the color of my arm, which this part of my arm is going to be a little lighter than my face, but blended into the skin, it gives a really nice blend, and it looks more like my skin, or maybe like I have a slight tan. But Medium 1 did work for me better than the previous shade that I had, which I think was Medium 2, so I'm sticking with Medium 1. So the coverage is more light, if I could say the coverage is more along the traditional lines of a skin tint. This one I would say lasts about a good 6 to 8 hours, depending on what I'm doing, how long I'm outside, and that types of things. So I wear this skin tint when I know that I'm not gonna be outside sweating all day long. I want something nice and light, but I really wanna have that like juicy, healthy looking, radiant skin. This is the skin tint of choice for me. With the Amica Lay, their shade range is not going to be as large as either Fenty or the Lip Bar. I forgot how many shades the Lip Bar skin tint comes in, but it's a nice, pretty decent shade range. But the shades in the Amica Lay one, I would also say are going to be a little bit more flexible. So although they may not have as many shades, they do have lighter coverage, so that is going to help the product to span multiple complexions. I would also say with the Amica Lay, they don't have as many lighter shades for those lighter to fair complexions, so there might be a limitation there. But this is a Black-owned brand, and so they do focus their products to fit more melanated complexions. So if you don't find your shade in this particular line, that might be why, especially if you are on the lighter to fair complexion shade range. Which I do think they need to expand their shade range so like everyone can try it, because this is a favorite of mine. I've had this particular one for over a year, and I absolutely love this skin tint. Like I said, for those days when I just want my skin to look juicy, healthy, and radiant, and I know I'm not gonna be doing like a ton of outdoor activities, this is my skin tint of choice. I would say if you have oily skin, you probably would not enjoy this one too much. If you're someone who's like, I really don't like a lot of dew and radiance, this is probably not gonna be your cup of tea. But for people who have dry skin, normal skin, and I don't think I even said this, I do have more normal skin, and maybe combination skin, I think you would really, really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Okay, coming in at number 3. This is a newer one to my collection, but oh, honey, this one's amazing, okay? Chanel. This is the Vita Lumiere Aqua Skin Tint Foundation. Nothing new to the market at all. Absolutely nothing new. I do have the shade 91 Caramel. So this one, I bought this maybe like 2 months ago. Yes, 2 months ago at this point. And I was like, because I wanted to do a video about all of my Chanel foundations. And I was like, I think I have them all except for like 1 or 2. And I was like, I need to pick up this one. So, oh my God, this one is so stinking beautiful on the skin. Okay, so here is the Chanel Vita Lumiere Foundation or Skin Tint. Let me pull this up so you can see it. This is shade 91 Caramel. I typically wear either shade BD70 or 91 in Chanel foundations. It just depends on the formula. And this particular formula, when I did try the shade BD70 or B70, it just looked a hair too light. And so when I tried 91, I felt like it matched me so much better, so that's why I went with this one. Okay, finish is also gonna be more natural than dewy. So I would say this is gonna be a good skin tint for all complexion types, whether you have dry skin or oily skin, because it just falls like right there in that natural medium. So like I always suggest, going with the primers that work for you and going with your powders that work for you. And a lot of times you can make a product work for you the way that you would like it. Lasts all day as well. It just looks so perfected and natural on the skin. This is definitely one of those products I can throw on my face and literally throw this on, a gloss, and be out the door and not feel the need to like, let me add a little color, let me add a little lash, let me, like, no, I can just zap, zap, and out the door. This is so, so, so beautiful on the skin, and it definitely quickly moved into a favorite of mine because I have not had it that long. It's the Ultra Light Skin Perfecting Sunscreen Makeup, and it does have an SPF of 15. Please don't ever rely on your foundation as your SPF coverage because it's never enough, and you don't ever use that much foundation to actually get the SPF coverage. So, you know, great that there's a little bit of SPF in here, but I don't rely for it. I don't use that as my SPF, you know, for protection. But it doesn't like feel funny on the face because of the SPF. It plays well with other products that I want to put on top. The coverage is also light. I would say that the coverage is going to be, you know, once again, along the lines of a skin tint, maybe a little bit more, but it just looks so beautiful and perfecting on the skin, and I just love it. Highly recommend it. Okay, coming in at number 2. Now this is also like nothing new to the market. I'm probably the last person in the beauty community to try this product and then love it, but like it has been a staple of people's favorites who love skin tints, lighter coverage foundations. And I just am late to the party. But honey, I'm here. And coming in at number 2, MAC Face and Body. I know, literally, I know I'm shaking it up so it doesn't look all weird. I don't know what took me so long to try this one. I think it was Ellie Luna. She's a creator on Instagram, an editorial makeup artist, like phenomenal. I love her. And she was putting it on and I was like, let me give her a whirl. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I wear shade in 5, and this is, I mean, y'all probably know more about MAC Face and Body than I do, but very, very light coverage. I would say out of all of the skin tints that I've recommended today, this is the lightest coverage of them. And here is Here is MAC Face and Body, shade N5. Love the undertone of this. It's nice and neutral, but it doesn't look extra ashy on the skin either. And this is the one that I'm wearing when I'm like, once again, I want to throw something on the face and a gloss and be out the door. This is like my beach foundation because I do wear makeup to the beach. Not a lot, but I like to have a little extra glow, a little extra something. Gives me very slight coverage just to like tone down the redness. And it just makes the skin look alive and beautiful and healthy. And that's why I like it. Would definitely recommend this for people. I would say honestly all skin types, because when I was looking at reviews trying to find what would be a good shade for me, I saw someone who had drier skin that said this was not hydrated enough for them, that it was too dry for their complexion. Whereas I feel the opposite. I feel like if you have oily skin, you may not like it because I think this one is a little bit more dewy. However, I think it's one of those complexion products that you should definitely give it a try, because depending on, just based on what I've heard in terms of feedback, I don't think this looks extra dewy on the skin and like extra oily at all, because it's not. I just think that this gives more radiance, so I would assume that if someone had drier skin, they would enjoy the look and the finish of this on their face. However, this is not gonna have like extra boost of like moisturizers in it and things like that. So if you do have drier skin, maybe not look for this product to give you the hydration that you are looking for. So you would want to, once again, go in with your hydrating primers or use a nice moisturizer, and then maybe go in with this product to just kind of give you that nice finish to the skin. But I think this one is beautiful. I, like I said, would recommend it for pretty much any skin type. Unless, you know, I have oily skin or I have combo skin and I tried it and I don't like it, then obviously, like, you know what you like. But because the formula of this one is pretty thin, I think it's one of those that's not gonna look heavy, feel heavy, or like exacerbate any types of oils that you might already produce. So for those reasons, I think this is one that could work for all complexion types and all skin types. We obviously know that with MAC, they have a great shade range. So definitely check it out. And then for number one, so I wasn't able to do a proper review on this particular skin tip because it came out when I had freshly got my tonsillectomy, but I did produce a couple of reels for you guys that I uploaded here on YouTube as well, and YouTube Shorts, and I can't say enough good things about it. And you should probably already know what it is. I am wearing it on my face, and it is going to be Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. Yes, I have 3 shades. Let me explain. So immediately when I saw this, I was like, I am picking it up. And just so you all know, I am an Angels of Hers, which I'm in her ambassador program. So sometimes we do receive free products, but it's never like a given that we'll receive it. So that's why I go out and purchase products myself, because I just want them as soon as I can get them. So I purchased shade 9, but then the brand did reach out to us and say, hey, we're gonna send this to you all, pick out 2 shades. So from the brand, I received shade 8 and also shade 10, because I wasn't too sure like which shade I would wanna go for. So let me swatch these so then you can see them on me. So great high points about this product. This particular skin tint was inspired by their Yummy Glow Serum. So if you've ever tried their Yummy Glow Serum, OMG, the awesomeness of this product is just endless. So this skin tint is formulated very similarly based on the Glow Serum. It's infused with hyaluronic acid, vegan squalane. Oh, there's another ingredient in it, but it's gonna boost hydration. It's going to allow for the skin to look and feel healthy. It's also formulated with pigments that are gonna help to correct the skin. So redness, some hyperpigmentation, and then it's also going to smooth texture. So when you look at it, it says it's gonna hydrate, smooth, and correct. So kind of like a 3-in-1 skin tint as well. There are 16 shades in this skin tint. The shades are flexible. And what's awesome is that if you go on either Sephora or their website and you scroll through the pictures, they give you a chart that says, hey, if you wear this shade in our Balm Powder or the Yummy Serum Foundation, this is the shade that you will wear in the skin tint, which was extremely helpful because I was able to use that to determine shade 9, but also shade 10 works for me as well. And shade 9 and 10 were recommended for my Balm Powder shade. So I wear shade Balm Powder in shade 6, and shades 9 and 10 were recommended. So I really enjoy shade 10 the most for all over the face, and I'm gonna show them to you guys really quickly. But I can also wear shade 9, and you've already seen clips of shade 9 as well. So we've got shade 8 in the Yummy Glow Serum, shade 9 in the Yummy Glow Serum, and then shade 10, and hopefully you can see them. But really enjoy shade 10 the most because when it gets around the perimeter of my face, it still looks really nice. It doesn't like get just a little too light. Shade 9, I can wear it all over the face, but like right along the jawline, I still feel like it's just a hair, like a speckle light. So for me, I like shade 10 all over the face. And then I chose shade 8 because I was like, by the time the brand had reached out and said, hey, we're gonna send you a couple, I had already been wearing this, you know, 2-3 times, and I was like, I want to wear this all over the face. So I wanted shade 8 to use as an under eye brightener. So that's also what I'm wearing under my eyes today. I didn't go in with the concealer. And this product does exactly what it says it's going to do. So my skin looks really beautiful and hydrated. I did set my T-zone just a little bit with light powder, but I didn't go all over the face with powder. And I feel like the skin just looks really healthy and juicy. My under eyes do look a little brighter, a little lifted. So this does a really good job of doing light correction. So I do tend to have redness around my nose, like the corners of my nose. It tones that down, and it's a beautiful product. I did do a reel showing you how you can wear this skin tint if you have oily skin or dry skin, because this product is made for all skin types. And I got the tips from watching the Teach Me Tuesday. But honestly, those tips that I provided in that video, you can use for any skin tint, especially if it's one of those skin tints that's like the Fenty Beauty one, or the Lip Bar, or Chanel. What I mean by that is if you have oily skin, go in with a primer like product that's really gonna help to control your oils. I love the bone powder for that. Or if you are someone who has more dry skin, my recommendations, and I know you've already seen it, go in with maybe a beauty oil, or go in with, I love the Yummy Glow Serum, so of course I'm gonna recommend it, but go in with a really beautiful hydrating primer. And that's gonna allow you to use products that are gonna work better for your skin. Because a lot of times I hear people say like, oh, that didn't work for me because it was too dry or it was too oily. And my next question, if I were talking to the FaceTime, was like, well, how did you prep your skin? Because honestly, there's very few products that you're gonna literally wash your face and slap a product on and it'd be like, oh, perfection. No, we've got to do the work, prep our skin correctly so that we can try to make the product work as best for us as we can. However, this thing is amazing. Coming in at number one, because I feel like out of all of the skin tints that I recommended, this is one that is really going to work for all skin types. There is a shade range of 16. And like I said, because the shades are flexible, I do think you would be able to find a shade that will work for you. I love that it's infused with amazing skincare products. I feel like this particular skin tint has more skincare ingredients than the other ones that I recommended to you guys. And it looks amazing. Lasts all day. I would say that the two longest lasting skin tints that I recommended are gonna be Fenty Beauty and this one. This one, although the finish of the Yummy Glow skin tint is going to be a little more dewy than this one by Fenty, it lasts. Like heat, sweat, it lasts. Like I was doing the most trying to record a voiceover in the car for Reels, right? And I turned off the car so you wouldn't hear like the AC blowing. And when I say I was sweating, because it took me like 30 minutes to get the voiceover right, I'm talking sweat was pouring down my face. I turned on the air so like the air could like dry my face. And I looked at my face and I said, honey, that skin tint is still on. And like I was sweating. I should have captured it on footage, but I didn't. But this one is beautiful. And it's been the skin tint that I've been reaching for nonstop for the past, I would say, couple of weeks at this point, and it is gorgeous. So coming at number one, but like I said, all of these skin tints that I've recommended, I highly recommend them and highly recommend you try them out. I'm gonna show you my arm again because especially the 5 other skin tints that I've told you about, they have like dried and settled into the skin, and it'll give you a better idea as to how they might look against your skin. So first, remember we've got the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop skin tint. Then we went with the Lip Bar. This is the Lip Bar skin tint in shade Caramel Delight, Fenty Beauty in shade 13. Then we have the Amica Lay in shade Medium 1. Chanel in shade 91 Caramel, and then MAC Face and Body in 5. And then of course, Yummy Skin Tint in shades 8, 9, and 10. So hopefully this gives you a good idea as to how the finishes are. And how this would settle into your skin, and maybe, you know, give you a bit of a better understanding as to how you might like the skin tints for you. So let me know your top 2 skin tints for the summer, because it is summertime and it's hot, and we want to know what you like, but also what works for the summer. So leave your top 2 skin tint recommendations in the comments down below. I have other skin tints that I love that I've talked to you about before, but like this is like my, you know, my most concise that I can get it to. Like I said, if all of these were gone, these are the ones that I'm going to replace first, and then the other skin tints that I still love, but you know, these are coming in at the top. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.